Good day everyone, we are the group 1 and today in this video, our group will discuss about the topic what is consumer education, its definition, problems faced by the consumers and its solution. But before we formally start, let me introduce first my gorgeous groupmates, starting with Angel May Abinido, Fritzy Aboyabor, Giselle Borromeo, Jam Abigail Lebron, Saint Liquido, and yours truly, Marieldo Mosmog. Now that I officially introduced my group mates, let's now begin the first part of this discussion. To begin with Miss Saint Liquido. Miss Liquido, break a leg.
Hello everyone, I am Saint and today we are going to discuss consumer education. Our focus for today's discussion is to know the consumer. Who are the consumers? What is consumer education and its importance? What are the problems faced by the consumers and its possible solutions? Let us discuss what is the side or perspective of a consumer. So, let's start. So, at the front page of our brochure, we provided a simple overview of our topic, which is the consumer education. So, consumer education refers to the process of a buyer learning about the products or services she is considering to attain. So let's expound this idea as we go on to our next discussion. So before we will go into discuss the consumer education, let's define first what is a consumer. So from the word consumer, consume, mugamit. So consumers are people who buy goods and services to satisfy their needs. As is clear from the above definition, we buy a lot of things to fulfill our needs. These may include goods like food, clothing, fuel, paper, electronic items, and etc. While services are the facilities offered to us by various agencies with or without payment. These include water, electricity, health and sanitation, education, transport, communications, and etc. Thus, by the above definition, we are all consumers irrespective of our age, social and economic background, and level of education. So, kani siyang consumers is kitanik, ang mupalit or ang mugamit sa goods and services. So, furthermore, consumers do not sell or hire out whatever they purchased. They bought it for their own consumption. So let us now proceed to the definition of the consumer education. So consumer education means to educate the consumers as to what, where, when, how, and how much to buy and how to use what they have bought. So kani siyang consumer education is giapil ni siya sa ato ang curriculum for us to be educated enough para makaibaw ta kung unsa ang angay paliton, kung asa ta pwede makapalit, kung unsaon siya pagpalit and unsaon nimo siya paggamit. So kani siyang consumer education help us to become a wise buyer. So consumer education is the preparation of an individual to the capable of making informed decisions when it comes to purchasing products in a consumer culture. So consumer education generally covers various consumer goods and services, prices, what a consumer can expect, standard trade, and etc. Consumer education also provides public with the information it needs on products and services so it can make well-informed decisions on what is it purchasing and from whom it purchases. So kani siyang consumer education nag-provide siya og information sa mga tao or sa public when it comes into products and services for us to have a informed decisions kung unsa ang angay paliton or kung unsa or kung asa ta pwede mo purchase. So, young people nowadays, they have a habit of impulse buying. Most young people like me or even you, if naay kwarta, palit ato. Kung naay maibgan, palit dayon. We're tempted to buy things without deciding first or thinking if that product is really necessary. Is that beneficial to you or to me? Is it worth to buy? Magamit ba na nimo? So mga inana nga mga situation or scenario. So maong naaning gitawag nato nga consumer education for us to be informed, for us to be to have a wise decision sa pagpalit sa mga product or mga services. So, if you understand the above definition, you will be able to appreciate the relevance of educating people so that they can make correct purchases. Consumers are cheated in the market because they do not get proper consumer education. Consumer education has today become an important part of the college and school or the college curriculum. So, kani siyang consumer education is very important ni siya para mahibaw-an nato kung unsa ang mga consumer rights, kung unsa ang mga consumer responsibilities para dili ta ma-cheated sa pagpalit nato sa mga produkto or mga serbisyo. So, next is the importance of consumer education. Consumer education can help develop critical thinking and raise awareness, thereby enabling consumers to become more proactive. It is also an important vehicle for building the confidence that consumer needs to operate in increasingly complex market. So, consumer education helps us to become financially literate, especially karon nga mahal na kaayo ang mga palitunon. We need to be wise enough. If we already are financially literate, we can now know how to handle money. So, consumer education teaches us to be wise when it comes into buying and when it comes into money. So, kani siyang consumer education is naghatag ni siya idea para or it helps us to become a wise buyer. Consumer education helps us to become financially literate, especially karon nga mahal na kayo ang mga palitonon. We need to be wise enough. If we already are financially literate, we can know how to handle money. So, kani siyang consumer education helps us to be informed kung unsa ang mga consumer rights, kung unsa ang mga consumer responsibilities para dili na ta mailad sa market. Consumer education teaches us to be wise when it comes into buying and when it comes into money. So, that is the definition of the consumer education and its importance. So, we have a quote that says, "Know your rights before buying the product." So, the next topic are the problems faced by the consumers, and that will be reported by Mariel Dumosmog, Angel May Abenido, and Lebron Jam Abigail.
Hello everyone, I am Jam Abigail A. Lebron, one of the reporter in this topic. So, there are several problems faced by the consumer. First is the defective weights and measure. Very often, the weights may have dents, hollow space, or the weighing balance may not be used properly, resulting in weighing less than the actual weight. Shopkeepers use several malpractices while measuring or weighing what you buy. This may include use of irregular weights like bricks or stones or hollow bottom of iron weights which weigh less than the actual weight. So, irregular weights using irregular things like kaning mga stones or hollow bottom nga makaagaw og space sa product nga timbangon. Imbis na nga mapunan ang imuhang gipalit, di na noon kay nasakto naman siya sa timbang tungod atong mga stones og hollow bottom nga gibutang. Pointers of weighing scales that do not rest at zero even when no weight is put on the pans. Kanang timbangan nga ang iyahang pointers kay wala na tunong sa zero. Makaalkansi gihapon ni kay mas less ra nga product ang mahatag sa imuha. Next is placement of a piece of magnet or cardboard under the pans of a weighing scale. The last one is use of a measure that may be dented or with a false bottom to give less measurements of liquids like milk or oil. The second problem is poor consumer guidance. We have to often rely on the mercy of shopkeepers and manufacturers for information required to make any purchase, but they do not always give us the correct and complete information, or they may themselves not have sufficient information. They talk positively about only those brands of products that they stock and get a higher commission. Some salesperson do not pay attention to consumers. They behave rudely and do not show all the items. Thus, the consumers get very little help from these salespersons while making choices. Also, there are no standardized consumers booklets available that one can refer to. So, kanang mga vendors or salespersons nga muhatag lang og gamay nga impormasyon about sa mga product, dili kayo matabangan ang mga customers sa pagpili ana na ay possibility nga bati or alkanse di ka sa imuhang pagpili nga sa produkto. Mao na nga much better kung pwede mangutana na lang ta about ana nga product kung angay ba na siya nga pilion or paliton para at the end dili siya makamahay. The third one is health and safety hazards. Many a time, customers face problems of health hazards when they buy goods in the shops. For instance, shopkeepers sell products even after the expiry date. Fruit vendors use chemicals to ripen the fruits faster. Manufacturers use inferior quality of materials to keep the prices low, and so on. So, customers usually encounter this kind of problem. Kani nga problema mahitabo sa bisan asa nga shop or palitanan og products. Maninda sila og kasagaran sa mga salesperson or vendors, maninda sila og pagkaon nga expire na nya, kasagaran ra ba labaw na kung magdali di na malikayan nga kana nga product mapalit jud sa customer. Nya makaon mauna nga mag-cause siya og sakit sa tiyan. Then, fruit vendors use chemicals to ripen the fruits faster. Like, for example, kanang koan, mangga, ilahang butngan og chemicals para mo hinog og dali. Kanang, para makabaligya po sila dayon mauna nga kasagaran is kanang maahat gani siya. Na, kana siya, makakos na siya og headache, cold, dizziness, and many more.
Hi, I'm Angel Mia Benido. I will be the one to continue about the problem faced by the consumer. So the first problem is problem of duplicate goods. Consumer in this world, the consumers face a major problem of duplicate goods. So authentically, producers duplicate popular brand names and thereby customers get cheated. Even products like medicines are duplicated by illegal producers. In our society, we experience this kind of dilemma of duplicate goods. So, for example, mupalit ta og tambal sa pharmacy. So, their medicines are expensive than the sari-sari store near from our house. So, without knowing na ang katong gipalitan na to, for example, nipalit sa sari-sari store, we do not know na original ba to siya na product or mao jud to ang tinuod na product kay we doubtful to buy lowest price kay medicine baya na siya, so dapat nato careful ta magpalit sa mga tambal. So ang naka-advantage sa pharmacy kung dito ta mo palit, dili ta doubtful mo buy og mga kind of medicine kay naa dito ang mga original, I mean the product nga safety siya imnon. But I'm not saying nga sa sari-sari store is fake sale or not original. But we should need to be wise buyer also para sa atuang health and safety. And also, for example, sa sari-sari store is naa dito ang lowest price nga medicine. So, mas kuan siya, mas halin siya kaysa pharmacy nga mahal. So, aside ana, we should need to be advanced thinking about buying medicine, because buying medicine is very, very important, because to help our health better. So, mas mo prefer ta sa expensive nga medicine kay we know na maayo ta dayon kaysa brato siya pero pila pa ta ka days nga mo take. So the fifth problem is price variation or kausaban sa presyo. So this price variation is a trader's view of the difference between a desired or expected price and actual execution price achieved by an order prices. So it is often separately referred to as slippage or price improvement for adverse and favorable outcomes respectively. So this will be the prices are lower for the same product in wholesale markets as compared to retail markets. And this is also the prices of packed products are higher than the price for the same product when sold those due to packaging prices. So this kind of problem usually naana siya sa mall. As you noticed, gani, naay some product or items nga lahi-lahi siya og price but same brand names. So same ra siya og product but different price. So mausab na ang problema sa ato ang society about the price changes. And ang mga consumer is maglibog sila because wala sa kahibalo kung that price is approved na siya for example, ang makakita ka mapalit ka o sliced bread sa mall, then ang price is 37 but pag adto nimo sa counter, so nausab siya, so nahimo siyang 47. So mausad na ang problem sa price version, so ang pag-usab-usab sa presyo. So the sixth problem is adulteration and poor quality. So from the word adulteration is pagpanapaw, and the poor quality is dili maayo nga kalidad or poor quality or low quality. So adulteration can occur when certain things are added or removed from a product, lowering its quality. So it can also occur because of the use of poor quality raw materials or poor method of production or inappropriate storage of finished product, and adulteration is usually intentional. So such as products may be harmful for the health and safety of consumers or customers. However, all low-quality products may not necessarily be adulterated by the same means. And sometimes this will happen about the cost of each product and by adding, or it will matters sa gikuhaan gikan sa usa ka produkto. So, ang adulteration and poor quality is pag-usab-usab sa usa ka product and paggamit sa usa ka product or unit nga dili maayo nga kalidad. And this was also affected by our health and safetyness towards the consumers and also the customers. So this problem will affect us as a buyer or a consumer or a customer. So maka-affect ni siya sa ato ang health if they will continue to sell some products nga low or poor quality na dili siya safety sa ato ang health. That's all. Thank you. And for the next problem discussed by Mariel Dumasmuk.
The seventh problem faced by the consumer is the non-availability, hoarding, and black marketing. When we say non-availability, it simply means not free or not available. When we say hoarding, it refers as the concept of purchasing or storing large amount of product belong to a particular market which causes scarcity for having short supplies of foods and goods. And when we say black marketing, it means that any market where the exchange of goods and services takes place in order to facilitate the transaction for illegal goods or to avoid government oversight and taxes or both. Black marketing simply means selling or having illegal market transactions for foods and goods. So hoarding and black marketing are interrelated as the persons involved in hoarding purchase large quantity of basic or essential goods and sell it in the black market at extremely high prices when goods are high in demand. Sellers sometimes sells the product on the high price compared to its original price due to the reason of suppliers' high demand price. But there's also genuine and avoidable reasons behind to have this kind of problem, such as off-season. Off-season particularly related to the fruits. Another thing that comes natural is having lower products or less supply due to the transporter strike or a natural calamity like drought or floods. So due to illegal pricing or high price selling and natural calamities, supplies of foods and goods can be vanished right away. The eighth problem faced by the consumer is the deceptive trade practices. This problem is an activity by an individual or business that is meant to mislead or lure the public into purchasing a product or service. False advertising and odometer tampering are the two of the most blatant examples of commercial fraud. Packing of small goods in large packets and packaging poor quality goods in stylish wrappers that cannot be opened for examining the products inside. Use of brand names, labels, and packaging similar to good quality popular products for low quality products seems to be the products that are duplicated from its original. And in most of the time, it also offers the attractive free gifts, sales, and discounts with some low quality products, or sometimes it offers of cheap free gifts and discounts that are not genuine at all. This can be victimize the users or the first time users or customers who doesn't have enough knowledge about this kind of problem that they might encounter as a consumer.
Having discussed the numerous problems that a consumer can face in the market today, what suggestions can you give to overcome this? Compare them with the solutions given below. So, first is always conduct market surveys and tap all the sources of information, TV, magazines, newspapers, salesperson, and if possible, somebody who's already using the product before buying a product. So just like a research, market research can identify how customers and potential customers might view your business and identify gaps in customer expectations. This is powerful information to have when completing your marketing strategy. Having good market intelligence helps to minimize risk when making key business decisions. Second, buy from Kindra Bandar. Fair price shops, authorized company showrooms, cooperative stores, or other reliable shop of good reputation in your area. This will enable you to buy good quality products at right price. Consumers prefer Kindra Bandar for essential items. Government-run Kindra Bandar is the choice of the middle class, and a SOCOM survey found. Survey also found that while sale in the former jumped 35 to 40% profit, margins of privately managed retailers have come down by a quarter percentage point. So third is obtain bills. So obtain bills, receipt, and guarantee cards for all purchases made and keep them safely. They will be of use in case of any fault in the product. So obtain bills. Paying your bills on time not only improves your credit score, but it also saves your money. You will not be charged a late fee or penalty if you pay your invoices on time.
So next solution is to read the labels carefully for brand names, net weight, ingredients, MRP or the maximum retail price, expiry date, and the standardization mark. So here, we must check first the label before purchasing a product. So importante kayo ang pag-check sa label. Why? It's because basin ka na nga product is expired na. So it can cause harm to us. And also basin ka ng mga ingredients diha is bawal na to. So we must first check the label before purchasing that product. So next is to think of alternate items for those that are in short supply. Refuse to pay more and discourage hoarding and black marketing. So diri kay dili ta magpataka og buy og mga products kay naiuban nga mga fake. So here we must learn to budget, how to budget our money. So we must buy what we need only. So katurang mga kinahanglanon na to dapat ang atoang mga paliton para maka-save ta. Next, do not accept irregular weights like bricks and stones. Be alert and vigilant about the weights and measures and procedure used by the seller. So dili ta magpataka og dawat og mga bisag unsa nga products. So we must also know first unsa na siya kay basin ko ana siya kanang mas kamta ana nga product like makahilo di ay or naay poison. So we must be careful with that. And lastly, do not get deceived by sales tricks and self-talks like free gifts and high discounts. So we are so very familiar with this kay especially when mosori tag mall. So daghang mga discounts or like naay mga salesman nga ganahan mainganyon nato nga ipalito nato na nga product. So sa inana dili ta magpataka or magpadalag inana. So we must first check. So dapat ilailahon sa nato na sila o unsa ang mga benefits ana nga product before ta mo purchase kay basin scammer na or kanang ilahang mga products nga gi-endorse is mga fake. So that would be all for the solutions for the consumer problems.